Who are the most dangerous people on the planet? You might be thinking the cartel, dictators, weirdos, YNs. In case you don't know what a YN is, simply put, it's a young n***. For example, TK, one of the forefathers to all the YNs out there. He cut off his ankle monitor, made a song whilst on the run, and took one of the hardest flicks of all time. Another example is YNW Melly. First time he fired off a strap was at the age of 9 and the rest was history. And of course, how could I forget YB? A man whose lyrics are so influential, they made Ja Morant want to hold the blick on IG Live. I don't really be listening to Youngboy now, but when I was a couple years back, he would be saying stuff like, "Nigga, all I know is murder, swear to God that I'm with it." And yep, that is enough red rum for today. I used to wonder if he was allergic to freedom because him and Joe were coming like Rod Wave and burgers. Inseparable. As you can tell, YNs are pretty much just menaces to society. Just a disclaimer, I am not condoning the behaviour of any of the people that I've already mentioned. I just needed an intro to the video. Be a good citizen. But what I really want to speak about today is Lemilton Tay Sean, the YN of all YNs. Some might say he was even the first. He only had one appearance in the Boondocks, but that was more than enough to solidify him as a true deviant. The first thing we see is Lemilton talking to a doctor on a tape from 2 years ago, supplying us with all the reasons why he should never see the light of day.
How do you feel about those people you hurt?
I don't care nothing about those people.
What if you killed them?
I don't care.
And that doctor was useless because fast forward 2 years and he hasn't changed one bit. Lemilton, an 8-year-old, picks up Riley in his grandmother's car. We're gonna have to start recording all his crimes. Someone get the tracker going. There we go. He slaps the car and drives and takes it for a spin. Lemilton's driving the whip like it's GTA. No regard for human life. Knocking over anything and everything. Add vandalism plus attempted murder to the list because anyone that comes into contact with the car is not surviving. The police finally start doing their job and they enter a high-speed chase. But Lemilton loses control of the V and crashes it in a shopping centre car park. The two of them hop out the car after they were done writing it off and pretend like nothing happened. And they just get away with it. What was the point of the chase then? Riley reaches home and receives a beating that he will never forget. You know what I'm talking about. We all have one. He enters the living room and tries to act like it didn't hurt. But brother, we can see the tears in your eyes. You are not fooling anyone. Huey switches on the TV and we catch Lemilton giving an interview on the news. And this kid has no PR training because he tells the world,
I want to do hood rat stuff with my friends.
I don't understand why guys in the suburbs want to act like they in the hood. There's a reason why people say we gotta make it out of the hood. No one's ever said, guys, we gotta make it out of the suburbs. Why trying to escape a place where there's no crime? Lemilton was even wearing a red polo and cargo shorts, like we can tell you're from suburbia from a mile away. His grandma tries to justify his actions by saying,
You have to understand, all children his age love stealing cars and going on.
And I don't want to hear any more because she is clearly losing her marbles. That just might be the worst justification I've ever heard for criminal activity. She's moving like the lawyer who brought Bleach in Young Thug's trial. I know Thug was stressed when he heard her talk about anime. Lemilton's grandmother takes him to the Freeman's yard the next day so that he can apologize for his behavior. But everyone could sense the apology was faking in the Jordans you'll find at Brixton Market. Because number one, he was talking about getting a 9 to 5 and settling down with a wife. And let's be honest, no 8-year-old is thinking that far ahead. Secondly, there is no way he went from murder on my mind to law-abiding citizen overnight. No one is falling for that BS. We all know your nan wrote that script. His grandma starts dropping the Lemilton lore about how his dad was a wife beater and blah 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 blah. Everyone's got a sad backstory. Get in line, buddy. Mr. Freeman accepts the apology and says the boys can still be friends. But that was straight cap. He just wanted them to leave the house. Lemilton is back on the news and this time it's for assaulting his grandmother. All because she said no to some fried chicken. Roll the footage. As you can see right here, he gives the old lady a quick 2-piece, pauses for a second, goes to the counter, places the order, and then spins back for round 2 because the first beating clearly wasn't enough. What's even more insane is that she was on the news talking about, you have to understand. Understand what? He beat you out of the frame. What is there to understand? We cut to Lemilton telling Riley that he wants to be known for doing bad things, aka a criminal. However, they were unaware that the doctor who filmed the tape at the beginning was lurking in the shadows. They go back to doing more bad things like throwing things off a freeway bridge, drive-by with urine and hot sauce, and the most wicked act of all time. They pushed over a portable toilet while someone was inside. That man is going to be scarred for life. Dr. Dumas visits Hugh and Robert and informs them that there's more to Lemilton than what they already know. He tells them that he met Lemilton 3 years ago and has been trying to lock him up ever since. Robert's saying they gotta kill him before he kills them, and the doctor's face lit up in an instant. Why is he so happy to hear that idea? The next scene opens up with Riley and Lemilton watching the bootleg version of It. Growing up, my mum used to say that TV's gonna spoil my brain, and now I'm starting to see that she was right because Lemilton is absorbing nothing but straight red rum. Riley's trying to leave the crib, but Lemilton said, wait right there, I got something for you, and returns with a deagle. Add theft to the list because that gun is not his. Riley's tripping out because he knows people like Lemilton should never find out what a gun is. Lemilton tells Riley it's his grandmother's, but why does she need that? Is she a part-time crip? Nah, impossible. The only option she has is Mary from Bingo, so I don't see why she needs... Oh wait, this is America. Riley realizes that Lemilton isn't normal and tries to escape the house. I don't know why it took him so long for his brain to start working. Did you not see Lemilton's interviews on the news? The kid is tapped. but Lemilton cuts him off and shines the pistol in his face. A few days pass and Lemilton catches Riley slipping and forces him to do bad things with him. Riley wasn't trying to do all that, but a quick flex of the gun and he became obedient. The duo pull up to a mansion that belongs to an old white lady looking to run a home invasion, but her dog catches them before they even have a chance to break in. Lemilton grabbed a toolie and aerated the dog before him and Riley decide to dip out. Guns really make guys feel... Oh yeah, and we're adding animal cruelty to the list. The next day comes around and Lemilton gets bagged for shooting the dog. Riley was stressed because he knows Lemilton's gonna be foaming at the mouth as soon as he gets out. Dr. Dumas and Riley cross paths and he tells him that he was following the duo last night when they were out. He also says that he's the one that snitched. But there's nothing to worry about because he's in the system. It wasn't long after that Dr. Dumas was on the phone telling Robert that Lemilton's out of the system. They didn't have enough evidence to hold him apparently. And this is the part where I say the police can be so backwards at times, because how can they say there wasn't enough evidence? They literally did an interview with his grandmother a couple of days ago. The evidence is on her face. Robert tells Hugh to grab the shotgun, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They should actually bring an RPG just in case. Lemilton catches Riley lacking again, but this time it's after school. He brings up the gun for yet another time to threaten him. Riley's saying let's hang out like old times and do bad things, but that was all a ruse. He just needed Lemilton to lower his guard so that he can tackle him to the ground. Riley makes a break for the gun and heads for the roof of the school. Lemilton meets him up top, but Riley chucks the gun away so that they can run a fair one-on-one. Lemilton got active immediately and downed Riley with a heavy attack, but he gets up and returns the same move. They grapple for a bit and start another sequence. Liver punch, knee check. Riley gets swung round by his hair and Lemilton gives him a left hook, follows it up with a kick for good measure and then starts choking Riley to death. Uncle Ruckus comes out to see the black on black crime and does... nothing. I'm really not surprised. You really know that this is what he lives for. They get back to scrapping, but this time Riley's channeling the power from the wife beater into his hands. Lemilton falls off the building but luckily gets grabbed mid-flight. Riley's trying to keep him from seeing his maker early, but his fat ass is indulging one too many family meals on his own. The doctor pulls up and sees that Lemilton's hovering between this life and the next. He turns to Usain Bolt because he saw this as a free lick. He forces Riley's hand open, dropping the fat kid to the floor.
You killed him.
He deserved to die.
Crazy. But the camera pans to the right and turns out he's still alive. How did he survive that? The white man couldn't believe his eyes. And what he did next was 100% racially motivated, because he jumps off the building, risking his ability to walk by the way, to set himself up for a 2-footed downwards kick on a young black boy. Granted, Lemilton is a danger to society, but this guy is meant to be a doctor. But doctor, you're doing more harm than good right now. He's not even allowed to be that close. Lemilton's grandma had the police put a restraining order on him because of his obsession. The camera cuts back to the Freemans and they walk away like it was just another day in the year. In case you didn't know, Lemilton was based off an actual person called Laterian Milton. Most of the events that took place in the episode actually happened. The joyride, the crash, the interviews, they were all real. But everything else, like his grandmother getting beaten up over some chicken and the use of the deagle, wasn't real. Or at least I don't think it was, I don't know. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and as usual, that's all she wrote.
語れない眠れないとろい目